Panta rei. This is ancient Greek and it translates to everything flows. Already 2,500 years ago, the people knew that everything is in constant change. Nothing stays the same. Rivers, people, time, always in motion, always changing. So, if everything flows, why do we sometimes feel completely stuck? As if the current has stopped, when ideas don't land, when plans fall apart, when something you truly believe in suddenly doesn't work anymore. I know this feeling because it happened to me. My name is Matthias, and I'm a founder and software engineer. I was 24 years old when I developed a biodegradable biomaterial, one where you can produce a plant pot out of and bury directly into the ground. No plastic, no waste, and the potential to reduce an incredible amount of environmentally harmful materials. The very first prototype worked perfectly. And after 3 months, it had completely dissolved, without any traces of microplastic. An investor showed up, someone who wanted to develop this idea, and everything began moving fast. Numbers, meetings, plans. And then it hit me with panic. I couldn't reproduce the pot. I realized I had forgotten to document the proper material composition. I had no idea how I made it. The success that was so close suddenly slipped away. Doors closed, an investor gone. And to be honest, I was not only sad, I was shattered. I was angry and I was very, very ashamed. Because I knew this wasn't bad luck. This was on me. Suddenly, I felt stuck, but also started questioning the situation. What if failure isn't the opposite of progress, but the beginning of it? I brought something with me that captures this feeling really well. A Rubik's Cube. This is how failure often feels like. Tangled, twisted, and very, very unsatisfying. No matter how you turn it, you're feeling you're not getting anywhere. Every move seems like a mistake, but only because you haven't seen the pattern yet. Sometimes we feel completely stuck. But what if those are the moments when we are actually moving the fastest? Who here has made a mistake before? Great. Today, I want to share 4 learnings with you, 4 perspectives that help me moving forward in those moments of feeling stuck. Learning number 1. Making mistakes isn't just natural, it's healthy. Growth happens when our systems are challenged. Mistakes keep our thinking flexible, encourage development, and force us to rethink. That's what our brains are made for. A study from the University of Michigan showed when we consciously recognize a mistake, the brain region responsible for focus, learning, and behavioral adjustment activates. Our brain doesn't respond most strongly to what goes smoothly, but to what deviates. It needs tension to grow, not perfection, but irritation. So keep in mind, mistakes wake us up if we acknowledge and embrace them. Learning number 2. Celebrate the effort. It shapes the outcome. This is me at 4 months old. I had just started learning to walk. Way too early, according to most people. But my parents, they didn't say, "Oh no, he's falling." They said, quick, grab the camera. They celebrated the attempt, not the outcome. And that makes a difference. Because our experience with failure isn't defined by the mistake itself, but by the meaning we give it. Psychologist Carol Dweck calls this effort praise. Children who are praised for effort, not outcome, develop more motivation, greater resilience, and a stronger willingness to take on challenges. And it doesn't only apply to children, also to work, teams, and even relationships. It makes a difference whether we see failure as a sign of inadequacy or as a proof that someone dared to try. From, that didn't work, to, hey, give it another shot. Reframing doesn't mean sugarcoating. It means assigning a different meaning to the mistake. Learning number 3. Asking for help isn't a weakness, it's mandatory. When I was stuck, I did what felt logical. I tried again and again and again. Same problem, same pressure, and yes, same outcome. Albert Einstein once said, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. And I am honest with you, I started to recognize myself very much in that definition. But that wasn't a lack of capabilities. That was a lack of perspective. Under stress, the brain shifts into survival mode, the amygdala takes over, and our ability to think creatively or differently is reduced. So I did something I had never done before. For the very first time in this process, I asked for help. A person very important to me. But not for a better idea, but for stability. There is a psychological effect that explains why this moment mattered so much right now. It's called the Pygmalion effect. It describes how people often don't go to their own expectations, but to the expectations they sense from others. And at that point, my expectations of myself were at 0. I didn't need someone to solve the problem for me. I needed someone who still believed that I could fix it. And by asking, I got something very, very essential: the permission to try again, but differently. New solutions didn't appear because I was smarter. They appeared because I finally felt safe enough to see them. And to get out of this emotional loop, asking for help isn't a weakness, it's a strength we should use. Learning number 4. Go slow to go fast. With this new stability, but old habits still in place, I went back to work trying to recreate the lost prototype. So I mixed, I tested, and I guessed. My habit was speed, moving fast and pushing for progress. But I realized the faster I went, the more mistakes I made. Everything has its own timeline, and some things simply can't be rushed. For example, learning a new language, learning a new skill, biodegradable materials. And decomposition simply takes time. So I was forced to do something very differently, to slow down. And by slowing down, I not only became more precise, but also faster over time by reducing friction. And finally, I made progress. I learned, I documented, I reflected, and after many, many attempts, it still hadn't worked out. But in the process, I discovered a new material composition. Not identical, but better and stronger. Our brain needs time to consolidate learning. Neuroscientist Tracy Tokuhama Espinosa explains, when we repeat too quickly, we reinforce errors, not growth. And it wasn't speed that helped me move forward. It was structure, patience, and iteration. And today, this material has the potential to save plastic on a scale that actually matters. Not despite the mistake, but because of it. Because I tried something differently this time. We should see mistakes as invitations, not verdicts. Because progress isn't perfection, it's growing through challenges, reframing, asking for help, and patience and iteration. And maybe those moments when we feel completely stuck are maybe just moments when the flow is changing direction. So the next time when you're making a mistake, remember this. It might just be the best decision of your life. Thank you.